Hey, what's going on, guys? It feels like so rare these days that we get a new HGUC kit, so you gotta treasure the experience, even when it's a design that you really can't like all that much. It's the Bolinoak Sammahn here in HGUC form, the latest in the line, and yeah, never really been a design that I was particularly a fan of. It's very odd, but I gotta say, the kit looks really nice. So I don't know, this kit may change my mind on the design overall, but we won't find out until we get it all built up. But for now, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing and then we'll check out the kit. And as you can see here, it's a pretty thick box for this one. So we're gonna have a good amount of plastic in there, and being a Zeta era mobile suit, especially one of the weirder ones like this, I'm expecting this to also be a little bit larger in size, but it also has like this big backpack and everything. But some really cool artwork here on the front as always, and it's great to see stuff like the O, the Palace Athene there in the background. You can see another ship over there. But the artwork for the actual mobile suit looking really cool with some nice lighting effects and weathering and all that on there. Super awesome. But around here on the side, this is number 259 in the lineup. And then here on the bottom of the box, a look at the kit there, front and back. Some details about some of the gimmicks, weapons, and articulation over here. It's got the claw, it's got the explosive launcher, it's got the beam tomahawk, all this cool stuff. And you can see some action poses over here, showing how the kit is going to look like in a few different poses. And I mean, as goofy a design as it is, it does look pretty cool, I gotta say. So actually kind of looking forward to this one. And then here on the other side, got some text here in Japanese and in English, and then a cool image of the mobile suit in space right there. So let's go ahead, get this popped open and check out the runners. We're gonna have all that really nice minty green color in there. And it looks like we are going to have some foil stickers here. A lot of these little yellow color apps for around on the kit, so kind of disappointing that not more of those are actual separated yellow parts. I don't know if we're going to have any yellow parts in here at all. Looking at a glance, I'm not sure, but got a couple more there. It looks like probably for the mono eye. And then this really cool one here, or I guess it's actually two stickers there, but that's going to go underneath that clear part in the head. It's got this really cool kind of hexagon sort of rainbow effect there on that. Very interesting. As we dive down a bit deeper, I can see there are going to be a couple of yellow parts there. And then our instruction manual, which in typical HGUC fashion has a nice painted sample build here. Nice big reference photo right there. And some stats over here. The armaments include the shield, scissors, beam gun, beam saber, all kind of built into the shield. And then we've also got the beam tomahawk, and then the explosive launcher is going to be up here on the shoulders for a pretty interesting arsenal. Around on the back, some more information, all in Japanese and in English, about the mobile suit, different aspects of the mobile suit, the radome on the head, the explosive launchers, the shield, the scissors, and the beam gun, beam saber, beam tomahawk, everything there. A little bit more kind of history about the mobile suit once again right there. The color guide at the bottom, that's also in Japanese and in English for you. And on the inside, I think that's going to be about it as far as any information. We just got the parts list right here, and the construction, which is going to be in black and white for most of the construction until you get around to the back side here for like the final assembly of the body, and then the backpack and weaponry is going to be there in full color until we get to the end of the manual. Getting into the runners then, we are going to have a fair amount of polycaps here. It looks like this is PC runner 132 for some polycaps here in gray. We've also got the PC7 runner there for some additional polycaps here in gray as well for some ball joint polycaps there. And then for our clear yellow beam saber effect parts here, we've got SB13 for like the standard 144 scale beam saber effect parts. And then also two of this F runner from the HG Shinanju originally. This is the Shinanju's beam saber and beam axe effect parts right here that look really nice. So nice to see those, even though it's recycled, and I always kind of prefer new parts specific for the mobile suit. I'll take these, those look nice. The A runner here is going to be in 4 colors. We got dark green and then this dark gray part right there. Some of that pale yellow, just a few parts over there. And then our clear part for the top of the head is in a kind of smoke clear there. It's not too dark, but once again, you can see this is the kind of part where we have this texture molded onto the underside of the clear part that's going to make that look Really cool there from the top side. Runner B is a big runner of the lighter green colored parts here. Some nice detail on some of these. It is an HG though at the end of the day, so I mean it's not going to be super detailed. Runner is a C1 and C2 here, which C2 is just a copy of this half of the runner here in a third shade of green. Not quite as dark as what we saw on the A runner here, but runner D is back to that minty green here. We've got 2 of this D runner. Then we got runners E1 and E2, which have that middle section doubled right there. This is in a really dark navy kind of color here. It looks pretty nice. Runner G we have 2 of for some red parts there for the kit. Runner H1 and H2 also in a dark navy, but again a little bit different than what we saw on the E runners, so it's going to be for some of the joint parts and mechanical parts of the kit here. You can see the hand parts on there as well. And that's it for the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. Alright guys, here it is all built up, and it was a fun building process. The stickers are pretty minimal on there. Overall, the construction really nice, pretty much up to like what you would expect for recent modern HG standards. Some really nice color separation in there, and just really nice construction overall, as you guys will see once we get into the review here a little bit more. Obviously, it's going to have some really nice articulation and good construction overall. Some nice details on there, but again, like I said, it is an HG, so don't expect it to be like super duper detailed, but there's some nice detail on there. And so whatever you think of the design, I mean, the kit quality is going to be really, really good. The design, I'm still not totally sure on myself. I mean, it still looks like a sort of like golem or gorilla kind of mecha, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but the shield claw weapon is really cool. I do really like that a lot. There's a lot of really interesting aspects of it. I think just the everything once it all comes together, I don't know, it's a bit odd, but the kit is fantastic. So let's take a look at our included accessories here. So starting off just with our hand options here, as you can see, we've got 2 typical HG style holding hands here, although they are going to be a bit larger because this is a pretty big mobile suit. So we got those 2 hand options. And then for the left side only, we also have this open hand option, which is pretty nice. Nice to have some options. Always would be nice to have a little bit more, like some closed fist or something maybe, but that's okay, I guess. Anyway, and then for the head here, we've got a couple options for the top of the head, the radome part here. We've got one option for just the normal state, which is just this dark gray piece. And then we've got a second option for the luminous state. You'll notice we have 2 of the head, and you also have 2 of the stickers for the mono eye there. The mono eye can also turn. If you go onto the underside of the head here, you just move that switch from side to side. That will turn the mono eye. We also have stickers for these yellow parts at like the front cheek vents. The yellow parts towards the back of the head, that's an actual separate part. And then for the luminous state head, there is that colorful sticker that goes underneath the clear part here, which is not really going to be too noticeable, to be honest, but it does give you a little bit of color you can see inside there. So really cool that you can get 2 full heads to be able to swap, and you have all the stickers and everything necessary for that, so you don't have to pick and choose. You can just swap between the 2 as you like, which is really easy, so props to Bandai for that. And the other main weapon here, of course, is going to be the shield and claw, which we can remove off of here for a second. So this is a pretty cool accessory. Again, this is a separate yellow part here, so no stickers on this, which is nice. These claws are going to be able to move at 2 different points, the front part like that, and then the back part, so you can get these like ultimately pretty wide out like so, and then you can get them to grab. They are not going to close up entirely though, because at the front here you can see that's meant to be our beam guns, but that's also the back end of our beam axes slash beam sabers. They're both stored in here, so you can take these out and hold them in the hand either way. So basically at one end it's going to be like your typical kind of beam saber here like that. At the other end is where we're going to plug our beam axe effect part into here. So that's going to look like that. So you could use it like this with the beam coming out of both ends, or if you just want to use just the beam axe, you can just stick to that like that. Now again, like I said in the unboxing portion of the video, these Shinanju beam axe effect parts look really nice, so really happy to have those. Would have been nice, I mean, it would always be nice to have, you know, unique parts that are specific for this kit, but I mean, it fits, it works pretty well, so I think that's a good reuse of those parts. Now that said, as you know, we do also have the longer version of that, and although it's not technically meant to be used, of course if one fits, they'll both fit. Now the angle is a bit off, this should be kind of more straight out of there, but I mean it still works if you wanted to use the longer version of that effect part there. And that's pretty much it for our accessories, and as you can see there, we've got 2 of those in there. You can pop them both out. It's not like either of those are permanently fixed in there or anything, but I do kind of like the fact that you have the beam emitters or beam gun there out the front of the shield. You could plug your effect parts into here like so and actually have those like coming out of the shield there as well, which is pretty cool. Might make for a cool effect just to make it look like it's shooting that anyway. But back to the main kit here for a second. The explosive launcher is here in the shoulder. This part, it's not like an articulated part because as you can see, it just kind of hinges just on friction there of this part, so it's pretty straightforward. That just kind of pops open like that. You have the explosive launchers there in the shoulder, and then that just kind of closes up again. And then as for stickers, this yellow part here at the front, that's an actual yellow piece, but here on the forearm, that's a couple of yellow stickers right there on that side. Here on the thigh, yellow stickers on the front, yellow stickers on the side here, yellow sticker at the back of the leg right there. Then around here at the base of the backpack, a couple of really small little yellow stickers right there as well. And then up here at the top of the backpack, a couple of yellow stickers there as well. So all the stickers, I mean, it's just like for little small little yellow color apps, and everything's molded in, so it would be really easy to just paint, just mask and paint if you want, except for these ones on the forearm. That's not an actual molded detail, and honestly, they look kind of weird. I don't know why it's not a molded detail if there's meant to be a color app there. So it's kind of a weird one, but everything else is an actual like little recessed detail, so you can just mask and paint that really easily. All the red that you see around the kit is all separate parts, so you get all this like nice detail inside these vent areas here with actual separated yet red parts. And then here at the backpack as well for all these thruster bells. And in here, like up here, you have like a green part for the outside of the thruster bells, and the red part is separated for the inside, so that makes it really easy to paint the inside of your thruster bells here, here, and here as well. So that's nice. No need to worry about masking those or anything. And just to get into our articulation while we're here for the backpack, these parts here are on ball joints, will move around like so. These parts up here at the top as well, a little bit more limited in terms of their range of movement, but those can move a little bit around there on a ball joint. Nothing else here on the backpack moves, even though it's a very large backpack there, as you can see. Going back up here to the head, the head's on a ball joint, so that can move around normally, but then this whole joint can move forward and back really far like this too, so really nice range of movement there. This part here at the front, which is kind of our only real bit of sort of skirting armor, it's actually connected to the torso, but it kind of acts as a sort of front skirt, I guess. This is also on a ball joint, can move around a little bit there. We do have a pretty nice ab crunch here with a couple of points of articulation, basically 2 ball joints there in the midsection that are going to give you a pretty good range movement. Very little bit there side to side, not really too much, and rotation there at the hip section. The shoulders, these are also just basically on like a double ball joint. There's a piece in there for the shoulder connection that's a ball joint into the body, and then one into the arm. But it is going to be pretty limited just because you have these big blocky shoulders and this big kind of round part here for the torso, and there's not really much space in between for those to really move. This flap here on the side will be able to move up and down. The shoulder armor, again, will in theory be able to move, but like you're not really going to want it to be like that, I guess, unless you want to like bring the arm up, I guess. That will allow you to bring the arm up to kind of about 90 degrees there. And the arm is going to work pretty normally with a rotation point at the top of the bicep, a double joint there at the elbow, which is going to give you a pretty full bend there like that. The wrist is on a ball joint here. And then at the hips, you're able to bring the legs really far out to the side, of course, because we don't have any skirting armor. You can bring that all the way up to the front, no issues there as well. A double joint in the knee. It's going to give you a nice full bend there at the knee as well. And then the ankle is also going to be pretty good. You can see you can move the toe here up and down on its own. But yeah, the ankle can move forward, back a little bit there. And again, just because of the design of these parts on the side of the leg, it is going to be a bit limited there as far as like side to side movement of the ankle. But up underneath the feet, we got full detail there as well. Well, I guess sort of, you do have a couple little empty gaps here on the side, unfortunately. But up underneath there, you can see we do also have our hard point for being able to plug this onto an action base. And then these tubing parts, which are pretty cool up underneath the torso. They're plugged in via a ball joint inside the torso and then just kind of feed back into the backpack, not really necessarily plugging into anything in particular. Because you can see our backpack connection is just these 2 pegs here, and then the hoses just kind of go into this empty space right there, basically. And then just to give you a sense of the size of this guy, here it is compared to the 1/44 scale Gundam. So you can see it definitely is going to be a bit bigger, a bit bulkier there, especially at the backpack. I mean, certainly a lot bulkier than your standard 1/44 scale Gundam. Not necessarily a huge kit, but of good, decent size here. But all right, guys, let's take a look at the kit in a few different poses now. So this kit is great. It's not for everybody, though. I mean, with the color scheme and the design being what they are, it's certainly not something that I think is aesthetically going to appeal to everyone. That said, I mean, if you're just looking for a great HGUC kit, I mean, it definitely checks all the boxes for that. So you got really nice articulation there. Some certainly very cool and unique weapon gimmicks there with the shield, claw, beam sabers, and that huge backpack that it's got and everything, and then obviously the option parts for the heads. So there's a lot in there to enjoy. And one thing about the construction that I didn't really touch on was just seam lines. And really with this kit, you don't really have much in the way of seam lines. There's a couple on the actual claw parts on the shield, but that's really kind of about it. Anywhere else where there would be a seam line, Bandai kind of did their typical trick where they just turn it into a panel line detail, which works well enough. I mean, sometimes I wish that the parts would just be designed in a way to just not have a seam line there at all. So then the way it doesn't look like just this panel line detail just running right down the center of the part as a way to kind of very easily hide a panel line. But I mean, it works. It certainly makes your life a little bit easier if you're wanting to paint the kit. And this is one kit that I think I would like to paint. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to paint it right away. I got a couple other different projects, a lot of other different projects going on. But I think definitely one thing that, at least for me personally, would make me like this design a lot more too is maybe just a different color scheme. This really kind of very typically 80s, very obnoxious kind of green color scheme, I think works for the design and is iconic of that time period in terms of like mecha designs and stuff. But at least just something like for me and my personal taste, I think recoloring this into something, I'm not exactly sure what, but that might also just kind of help to give it maybe somewhat of a bit more utilitarian kind of look or something like that if I can. I'm not sure exactly, but it is one that I definitely would try to work on in some way. But anyway, really cool kit. And then like I said earlier too, I'm just glad that we're getting more HGUC stuff because I love HGUC kits, and you know, it's always nice to get new ones. We do have the Psycho Gundam Mark II coming out pretty soon. That'll be nice to have that one. I mean, we have been getting other great HG kits like the HG Seed Freedom kits, for example. Those have been fantastic. So I always enjoy seeing some nice new ones. But let me know your thoughts on this kit down in the comment section below. And if you guys want to check out the kit for yourself, you know, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam store. We've got this kit there and all sorts of other great Gunpla there on the website. So definitely check that out. And as always, guys, thanks so much for all of your support, leaving a like, making sure that you subscribe. And as always, I hope y'all are having a great day. I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.